tuned in to The Real and the Raw with Queen Renny.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to The Real and the Raw. I'm your host, Queen Renny. All right, y'all. Welcome back. You are now tuned in to The Real and the Raw. It's your girl, Queen Renny. I hope this week was nothing but success for you. And if it wasn't, I'm sending you all the love and positive vibes. I'm super excited to bring this new episode to y'all. You know, we're on our series of mental health and just all things, spirituality, but as well as talking about how we can better ourselves, better our minds, and be of support to our community. Y'all know, in the Black community, it is like a taboo to talk about mental health. And so I want this series to open up a safe space for everyone to be able to share their experiences, talk about tips and tools and things that have gotten me through my mental health journey and just all the highs and lows of life. So I'm super excited because I have someone very special as a guest today, my friend. And so welcome to the couch. Hold on. Guess who's coming to the couch today? Guess who's coming to the couch today? All right. Y'all, welcome my girl, Tempest. Yes, I am super excited to have you. How about we start by you introducing yourself, like who you are, your professional life, anything that you want to let the people know about you.
Well, hello, beautiful people. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, thank you.
So my name is Tempest. Last name is Cooper. As you can see, I'm Dinah. Yes, I'm part of the deaf community. I was born deaf. I'm also born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Dad's side of the family are Jamaican. So
the country girl.
Yeah. So, as you can see, you will see me talk about Jamaican culture and African culture too. I was born deaf. All my life, I'm the only deaf person in my family. I learned speech therapy at the age of 2 until high school. So I always tell people my hearing affects my speech. I also went to Gallaudet University, so that's my first deaf school I have been, and I have my master's degree in social work. And right now, I have my license in the state of California, and I'm close to getting my full LCSW.
Period.
So I have overcome a lot of barriers growing up, and just know it's not easy being a deaf individual, but I had to learn that everyone has a disability, whether you can see it or not. No one's not perfect. I would say my mom was my biggest motivation, my biggest support system.
I love that. Yeah. No, my mom too, and my grandmother, so I can definitely relate. And just so y'all know, as Tempest shared, because she is deaf, I'm going to be like, when I speak, I'm going to be looking at her so that she can read my lips. But I was super excited to have you. I want to just let the people know how we met, how we became friends. If I have it right, I think we met actually, so y'all know I have the org, Change for Sean, and every year we have our largest fundraiser, which is like in August, so y'all stay tuned because I'll make sure I give y'all that information. But we bring out a lot of Black business and a lot of artists and vendors, and you're friends with, I think it's Toya.
Yeah.
Yes, and so Toya was a vendor, but she couldn't make it, and contacted you, right?
At first, when I saw you, and I don't know, I thought you were the man at first. I just didn't know a picture of nothing, so I was like, okay, but then she was like, Toya was like, Tiffany, do you want to go to the Change for Sean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, and promote Black-owned business. And I'm like, sure, why not give it a try? At first, I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect, but when I started sharing, she made me feel comfortable.
Thank you.
She kept stopping at a table and making sure like, 'cause I had my other friend that came with me at the time, and baby boy came too. So I am a mother too.
Yes, yes.
So she just kept checking on, like, are we good? And then I just know hearing Sharon boy how passionate, motivated she talked about her brother, and she inspired me.
Thank you.
And I was like, ooh, I got to connect with her.
Yeah.
And I just love her aura and energy, and her passionate about the medical field and changing for her brother, and that's how we connected.
Yeah.
And then knowing that you work at the school
Yes.
system, and it's like, Temple, why not come to our school and teach BSL? What is BSL, Black American Stuff? Like, and I'm like, sure. I'm like, okay, I got the plan. But after that, I contact Toya, like, thank you for the opportunity. You can bless me.
No, it's been a done deal ever since then.
Right.
Like I said, we didn't know each other, but you came to the event, and I think for me, you really inspired and touched me the moment I had spoke, and then I came over and you were like, I couldn't hear everything, but I could feel you, and I was just like, it made me want to cry, because I was just like, wow, like to know that the message transcends through, all aspects.
Right.
I think that was just beautiful, and nothing but God.
Right.
And then for us to just continue, it's been what, 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah, but for like 10 plus years.
Yeah, no.
Connected.
It does. It seems like we've known each other for a long time. And like she said, she's come to my job and taught youth and adults, I think for like almost a year and a half now, which I'm hoping to bring back the adult class sooner rather than later. But it's been dope just knowing you and seeing the baby grow. Oh, by the way, y'all, the baby is here. So if you hear him in the background, no worries. He's having a good old time in there, okay?
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me. So you mentioned that you have your LCSW. Can you break down like what that is and go into
So I don't have my LCSW yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to get that. So
Okay.
I'm about to tell you the difference. So right now I have my ACSW. What is that? Associate Clinical Social Work. That means I'm under supervision.
Okay, so
I'm-
you're still getting your hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I become fully LCSW, licensed clinical social, that means I can set up my own practice. I don't have to be under super. I'm more of my own boss.
I love that. I'm gonna have to. I got another opportunity that I want to bring your way for the summer. We'll keep that in mind. So how did you get into the field of mental health?
Really, I just want to break the barrier of the Black community, honestly.
Yes.
And just know we all go through struggle. We all, like, especially what I noticed about Black men, they don't like to express their emotion, and they feel like they less than a man when they express their emotion. That's not true.
Yeah.
We all, like, I always tell people our emotion is valid. It's okay. And me, at the age of 10, I was raped. So I was like a domestic violence survivor, overcome that situation.
Thank you for sharing
so
that.
It's a lot of, I feel a different thing, and not only that, just want to normalize. It's okay to see therapy. That don't mean you crazy because you're seeing a therapist. There's nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Like me, a therapist, I see other therapists too because
I have a therapist too. Me and my girl, we locked in.
Because I got to. That's the only way you can practice self-care and your well-being.
Yep.
And your mental health is the top priority.
Yes.
So I always tell people before I can help others, I have to make sure I help myself first. I had to go through that healing process. And now, when I'm dealing with women and men who in the domestic violence, I'm in a better space where I can support them and let them know it's not their fault that they've been through.
Because you have the lived experience, so you're not just speaking from like what the textbook taught you. You're speaking from, I actually can relate to this in some way. I probably know some of the things that you're about to go through after experiencing something like this. First of all, thank you for sharing that experience. I know there's probably plenty others who are going to hear this that can say like, oh my gosh, somebody who's speaking out that has a similar experience as me. And I think that is important as well. Like you said, it's just, we get caught up in thinking that we're the only one going through something, but life is hard and it's hard for everybody.
Exactly.
And like you said, why wait until you're in the darkness to go and seek help when like, just because life is life, you can go and talk to someone and have a therapist. Like, I really appreciate the fact that in therapy, you don't have to worry about them holding it against you, bringing it back up in a judgmental way. As sometimes with family, you share certain stories and they be like, oh, remember you did this and remember you said that. Your therapist is not going to do that to you. And you have a free space to cuss out your mama who you can't cuss out in person, but you mad at her. Like, it's just real. And it just, so I appreciate you doing that work. And I think something else that you spoke to that is very important is Black men.
Yeah.
And not only do they not share their feelings, the world doesn't accept them when they do. Exactly. And tells them that, it's you're less of a man for crying or for being sad. The only emotions that Black men or Black boys are safe to express are sexuality and anger.
Right.
And there's so many more emotions than that.
Exactly. And I even tell my husband, even if you can't talk to me, talk to somebody.
Yes.
Talk to someone. Yes. And I don't want our Black king to commit suicide, because that is the high rate.
It is.
Where since they can't talk, express them, that they think, okay, if they shoot themselves, it solves the problem. No, what about the people behind you? You always got to think about the people behind you who really care about you. That's why it's important for us as the whole, as the community. It's okay to seek the help you need.
Yes.
And
that's so important, because and it's not just for Black men, and not just the Black community, period. All people are suffering and dealing with grief, or a mental health concern, or a disability, or and not that I would consider this a disability, but you moving through the world that's not meant for a deaf person could have a detrimental effect on your mental health. And I don't know, I know you said your mom, did a lot to make sure you didn't have as many of those negative experiences. But was that something that you experienced growing up? Like
negative, sometimes with my dad were in my life, because I think that's so important, but then my mom doing everything, she did the best she could. I just wish, growing up, when people used to bully me, I used to try to hide my hearing aid, try to fit in. Because I really thought something was wrong with me. Because of the negative experience I had with the children that, peer pressure, and tell my mom that, look, everyone has a disability. That's what motivated me and helped me become stronger. It really did, though. I would say every disappointment is a blessing. It really is, because it helped me grow. And no one can take that away from me. And then my mom always tell me, look at all the compliments you had done. Them people who were jealous, they're picking on you, they're jealous of you. Fuck them.
It's true.
My mom was my biggest support sister, and I thank my mom, and she'll think her mom did everything. She did it in her
Shout out to her, because I know that has to be hard as a mother to watch your child have to go through those things, and she can't live it for you. She can only empower and educate you and those around you as much as possible. So I think it's dope, and I think she made a great point, is that I think sometimes we see our differences as negative situations, and it's like, no, embrace that, because you stand out and God is using you through this experience to now be able to, like you said, speak to those that you see as patients and things like that, or just the deaf community being able to see you, and the hearing community to be able to see and relate to your experience despite any of the differences and things like that. So I think that's dope. Thank you for sharing. I know you said, you had your own personal experiences with mental health, and dealing with domestic violence. When you were in that situation, what feelings or things were you experiencing?
I started blaming myself. I feeling guilty. I was like, why me? Why this had to happen to me? I was lucky enough to share that with my mom. I didn't hide it. At that moment when it happened to me, I was able to go to my mom.
Good.
So my mom,
most people don't, or are scared.
And by me going to my mom, she believed me. So she didn't neglect me, or, because there's some family would neglect, or that didn't happen. No. Always listen to your children. Always listen to your children. And my mom knew something was right. And I would just remember I had to go to the hospital because it was like blood everywhere. I was the virgin, still playing with doll, baby.
so
I was
sorry
not
to hear
into men or nothing. I was doing anything. I mean, and what crazy, the person I knew the person, it's always the person you're close with that would happen. I'm like, I looked at you as my brother. I would never thought that you would do anything like that to me. I would put anything. And all I remember, I kept telling him, stop, no. Just forced his way in. But I wanted, that's why I keep mentioning about my mom. My mom was my biggest support system. When she listened to me, I had to do a police report. I did all that. And I'm just happy I was able to save other people's lives. Because I felt like if I didn't say nothing, he was going to continue happening. So I would say those are the accomplishments that I did as far as keeping my mental health. Even though now, it don't bother me now, but before it did bother me, I was wondering why. Why?
And because too, this was someone, like you said, that you knew, that you loved and cared for it and thought loved and cared for you, and you know, unfortunately that just wasn't the case. And I want to speak to that quickly as far as educating the community, because there's a huge misconception that rape or molestation is from a stranger or someone that you don't know, and 9 times out of 10 it is a family member, a close friend. And so, like she said, listen to your children, protect your children, be mindful of who you have around your children, and don't let your daughters and sons sit on anybody's lap. You know, don't just let them sleep over at anybody's house. Those are ways that you can kind of put roadblocks in place to keep your child safe. And it doesn't mean that if you do those things and something happens that it's your fault or anything like that. That person have a mindset to do wrong. They're gonna try and do it in whatever way that they can. But the more that we're aware and just know that, like, it's not this stranger who brought a lollipop out and was like, come with me. It is an uncle, an aunt, a cousin. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. And so we have to, like, be diligent and believe our children the first time. So thank you for being brave to speak out, especially since it was someone that you knew. That makes it even more difficult to say something, because you might be scared of, like you said, family not believing you, or now you lost this relationship, or the family chooses sides. And despite that, you put yourself first. And I think that speaks to where you are now in the mental health field, teaching other people how to put themselves first.
And never overlook the red flag. Don't look at the red. And most of the time when abuser, something happened to them. Why they behave this way. We kind of got to bring it all the way back up with him. By him thinking it's okay to force him. He probably been forced too. So a lot of abusers don't know how to get it out there. We got to take a step back. Even though we're not saying what they did. No. What we're saying is they've been through some traumatic experience too. They just didn't know how to seek the help they need.
And I think that's a great point, because children who are abused become adults, or other children who abuse. I think sometimes we also look at it as it's only adults who do this to children, but children abuse children. And I think that's very important to keep in mind, is that, you know, that person unfortunately probably had a negative experience, and no one protected them or made them feel safe enough to speak up, but also get the help that they need so that they wouldn't become an abuser. And now it's just a cycle that's perpetuating. But thankfully it ended with you, because you had a support system that had your back, made you feel safe enough to speak out about probably the worst experience you've ever had. Oh man, that's a lot. And I know that we're speaking to somebody who's going to watch this. More than one person, I'm sure. Who's had an experience that either had a support system like you or didn't. And if you are the person that didn't, it's never too late to seek that help and to speak out about your experience.
And one thing I like to add, always create like a code red, or like a safety plan, or something like, for example, I have a thing like commercial where people acting like they calling the police station or something. So kind of create your own secret code. That, you know, only you and your staff and another person should know what that secret code is, just to protect yourself.
And with your kids, Like if you are letting your kids go on sleepovers, which, you know, that's just a part of life. Kids want to have fun and experience those things. Teach them a word that they, you know, can, if they need to call you and say, hey mom, I don't know, purple. And you know that purple means come and get me because something ain't right here, you know. Or if they don't know how to share the extent of the experience, there's a word they can say that triggers you to know, okay, something has happened to my child. I need to go ask some questions. I need to, you know, do whatever I need to do to keep them safe from here on out. I think that's a very good point. With keeping all of that in mind and the experiences that you've had, the knowledge that you have as a mental health professional, speaking to the Black community specifically, what are some things that you just want them to know or educate them on as far as mental health?
Really, there are resources out there.
Yes.
There are resources out there for us. It really is. Don't be lazy about it. And like I said, therapist is not a bad thing. It's really not. But I noticed in Northern California, it's not many Black therapists.
No.
So that is the problem. That's why I'm like, oh shit, that need to be done because it can't be just white therapists or Asian therapists. They're more like, they're different races, and what I can see why people in the Black community don't want to see stuff. They're like, how you gonna show empathy? You don't really look like me. But baby, I'm a therapist myself. So I just think it's important to seek the therapist you need for your well-being, because when you hold that shit in, guess what? You hurting yourself as well. When you keep holding in and not saying nothing, guess what? You hurting the inside of your spirit, your soul.
And your body. Like, you're wondering why you're tired all the time. You're wondering why you're feeling the aches and the pains. And it, like, our body carries that stress and that anxiety and that pain. And it shows up in physical symptoms and not just mental symptoms as well. And I think sometimes we don't recognize that for what it is. And we just think, oh, I'm sick and I'm sick all the time. But it's like, no, baby, you're depressed. And it's because you're carrying all of this in, and it's okay. Not like you are not the only one going through something, and you think you're alone because you're not sharing and you're bottling it all up. But I promise you, if you just share one aspect of what you're going through, you could probably find 100 people who have said, "Me too, me too."
Exactly. And I think it's important our Black community go to like support group. That's so important. I think that's what it is. Someone has to start something. Someone has to be the change. It's only take one person. Once people hear your testimony, that's when everybody will come around and start speaking up. So like I said, there are resources out here, and never be ashamed to seek the therapist you need. I promise you. So
I was gonna say, and not all of the resources cost. You know, there are a lot of like you take insurance, and even if you don't have insurance, there's some programs that you can get that allow you to see someone, maybe not as frequently as you'd like, but and some of these support groups are of no cost. Sometimes they're through a church or a community center. I know for my mom, you know, she lost my brother, and that's just, you know, losing a child is an experience that is like no other. And so my mom was feeling alone in her journey, and like there was nobody who could truly relate. And then she met another mother who lost their son and brought her to a support group. And she was able to just be in a space of like-mindedness and share her feelings, and it actually land in a way that could be received because they understood what she was saying and what she was feeling. But had she not had that, she would probably still be feeling alone and siloed in her emotions. And it's like, because she started speaking out about what she's going through, she's giving someone else the courage and the hope that they can grow past their current situation. Grieving has no timeline, like you were saying, and I think that's also a misconception too. Not necessarily for the people who are experiencing grief, well, sometimes, but also for those who are around the person experiencing grief, thinking that, oh, it's been 3 months, you know, you should be back in the swing of things. And it's like, grief don't go away. You just learn to live with it.
Like my mom, she was 14 when she lost her mom due to cancer, and thank God she was able to grow up so fast, because her mom taught her a lot. She was able to cook, clean. She was already independent, but still, my mom said, I still miss my mom like it was yesterday.
Exactly.
So when people are like, oh, then that's when, you know, they don't understand. Like, you never
ain't lost nobody yet.
So that's probably it. When someone can't relate to you, you don't want to talk to that individual. Like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what I've been through. So Yeah, grief do not have no timeline or nothing, but I'm happy your mom were able to find that support
Yes.
group and find that mother that able to show empathy.
Yes.
I think that's so important.
Oh, man.
Like, show empathy. And I know most parents don't want to bury their own child.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she want her son to bury her.
Yes.
But, you know, God always have a plan.
Yeah.
He always, so at least we can know that your brother's not suffering. He's not in that pain anymore.
Exactly.
But I know that's something we ain't trying to hear right
now. And I think that's important too. I said I'm writing a book on what not to say to people who are grieving, because I know people mean well, but it's like, don't say call me if you need something.
Right.
Just show up or send something to the house, because 9 times out of 10 I'm not gonna call you because I'm going through so much, or they're in a better place now, and it's like, yeah, but I want it, like the better place in my head is here with me. Things like that, where it's like, I know you mean well, you know, we say things to try to soothe people instead of just letting them sit in how they feel, and just listening and providing a hug or a safe space to just cry and vent and be angry. Like, grief brings up a lot of anger, and I think sometimes
that part is the 7th step. You got denial, accept it, like you said, anger, bargaining.
Yes.
So that part is the 7th step.
It's so true. And then too, I think, you know, as Christians, we think that we can't question or have anger, and it's like, no, it is okay to question why things worked out the way they did, and it's okay to say, like, God, I don't understand, and I'm angry that you let this happen, because God's gonna speak back, and He's gonna find a way to bring some good or a blessing or a win out of what you have gone through. And I say this all the time, is that what we go through is not only just for ourselves. Sometimes we go through things simply for somebody else to be able to know and have hope that they can make it through their situation. Which is why I encourage people to speak out about what they're going through. Not just showing the highs and when times are good. Because if we're not showing the bad and we're only showing the good, people ain't gonna know what God did for you and what God brought you through. So like, I'm gonna show you that I'm down and I'm, you know, feeling pain of not having my brother here and what that looks like day to day. But I'm also gonna show you, you know, the positive things. Because I want you to see that God brought me through every single situation, and He never left me where I was. And I think that's super important.
And God never failed you.
Never. He never leave you nor forsake you. And I know that's hard to hear when you're going through something. But when you are able to go to your faith and go to God's promise, which is never changing, it does help you and give you hope that, like, okay, even though today is trash, tomorrow might be better. And the next day might be a little bit better. And then you look up and it's been a year and you done made it through. You know, you may not look the best. But you gonna come through that fire, and like I say, you're not gonna smell like smoke. Which is, is there any advice or tips and tools that you've used or that people can use when they're maybe, you know, in just a spiral with their mental health?
Reword that question again. I'm probably
any tips or tools that you've either used yourself or just as being a mental health professional could provide people with? Like, say I'm in the middle of just a huge depressive state. And I'm not sure how to, like, kind of get back out.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to stop medication.
Thank you, because these folks are trying to stick it on you.
Put that there. You can say no to medication, and that's okay. But there are other ways to cope. So even like you said, high depressed. What is your hobby? What you enjoy doing? Let's revisit that. So anytime you're feeling depressed, I want you to distract your mind from that depression and focus on maybe working out. Yoga, like meditation. If you like to go outside to get fresh air, do that. Go outside, get some fresh air. Like anything you enjoy doing, that would be my tip of reducing your depressive behavior. So that's the natural way. Now, if you want to have medication, that's up to you. I don't personally recommend medication, but if medication help you, that's okay too. So like I said, there's different ways you can help cope.
Yeah. And I think what's important about that is, like you said, kind of pivoting your mind as soon as you notice you're getting into a depressive state. And that doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Right.
You kind of have to force yourself to do the things that you know make you happy.
Right.
And you may not feel the joy in that moment, but your body is taking in that fresh air, or your feet touching that grass, or you regulating your breathing in meditation and in yoga. And I think, depression will have you feeling like, stay in the bed, stay in the dark, don't get up.
Right.
And it takes a lot of strength and courage to be like, no, this is the 5th day.
Yeah.
I gotta get up and move my body, or go read my book, or color, go watch a movie outside of the space I've been in take a shower.
Right.
And
sometimes depression, you don't want to take a shower, and I feel like that's the devil is talking. That's me being a spiritual person. I know not everyone is religion. Though someone who in the spiritual world, they would get it though. Like you said, when you're in the dark, that's the devil talking to you, playing with your mind. So you gotta overcome.
Come in to kill, steal, and destroy.
So really, coping good, just a positive thing. Finding that sunshine to get out.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be stuck in one hole being a dark. No. No. Because if you're stuck in a hole, you're not gonna never elevate or never be, be successful or whatever the case you're trying to do, because it's like you punishing yourself.
And the longer you stay there, the harder it is to get out. And I always say, it's okay to be down. Just don't stay there forever. You know what I mean? Because as the days go on and you look up and you've been in the dark for a month, it's going to be 10 times harder to want to step out into that light. And so as soon as you can, and you recognize it, take that friend up on that offer to go to lunch if you've been feeling down. Even if you show up and you barely want to talk, just being there is helpful for you. And I know for me, after losing my brother, I went through a lot of PTSD, which brought on extreme anxiety, and I was having a lot of fear-based anxiety. And one thing that I can offer that my therapist taught me is to kind of ground yourself. And so she's like, if you're having flashbacks or dealing with anxiety in the moment, look around the room and start naming the things that you see. So I would literally say, there's Malcolm X, there's a quilt, there's a bobby pin on the floor, there's the light, and it would bring me back to where I was, and it would calm me down. And I think something just on the spiritual basis and having faith that I've been doing more recently is like, if I have a fear of death. So experiencing my brother pass away right in front of my eyes just exacerbated that, unfortunately. And so I have these moments where I'm extreme fear, anxiety, just frozen in this fear. And thankfully my therapist is a Christian woman as well. And she told me, okay, you can point things out, but also because that's the devil coming to steal, kill, and destroy, use your word and use your scripture against him. And God says in the Bible, I did not give you a spirit of fear. So lately when I feel like that extreme fear, anxiety coming on, I will yell the top. He did not give me a spirit of fear. You did not give me a spirit of fear. Devil, get out of here, because I'm not scared. You did not give me a spirit of fear. And I'm yelling, I'm arguing with him, get up out this space, because that ain't on me. That ain't of me. God didn't give me that. That's you trying to plant that in my spirit, and I don't accept it. And that has that has been so helpful.
No, amen.
Well, that's a good sign of her. Amen?
Yeah, amen.
Okay, amen. I'm going to be, you already know I'm deep.
But you are right, because that's what the devil will try to do.
Yes.
Try to make you feel stuck, worried, and you want to be fearless.
Yes.
And I'm going to add about your therapist. Maybe you can add, what did your brother favorite thing he enjoyed doing?
Okay.
So think about the positive memories y'all share together. I always think your brother's not dead.
No.
He's just in a different dimension, in a new world, or the spiritual world. Right now, he's sitting right here.
Amen.
Back and watching product. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
That really,
that is true.
Yeah, so your brother's very proud of you.
Thank you.
And proud of his mom as well. What y'all doing for the community. Continue with that. And y'all very strong individual. I have to give y'all props.
Thank you.
I know it's not easy. Like I said, you will have days with sunlight, no sunlight, and that's okay. Because that's part of the grieving process. That's part of the healing process. It is. Your emotions will be moody someday.
And that's okay. I think as humans we're taught that only certain emotions are okay to experience.
No.
You know, the happy and the sad, but like there's despair there, there's pain there, there's heartbreak
Right.
there. And it's like we try to run from grief, but all we're doing is delaying our healing.
Right.
And it's like, it's okay to be sad.
Yeah.
It's okay to not want to get out the bed some days.
Right.
Like I said, just don't make it an everyday habit,
Exactly.
because then you're never going to want to get back out there. And I appreciate you saying that, because you know, after experiencing losing him, like with my eyes,
Right.
and dealing with PTSD, that was a lot of the memory that I would go back to, is the last time I saw him. And just saying like, okay, when you're having that flashback, fix your mind on the time y'all were out playing basketball together. You know what I mean? You have to really, after experiencing grief or just dealing with mental health in general, you have to rewire your brain.
Yeah.
Because PTSD is almost like a brain injury.
Right.
And you have to like reshape it and rewire it. So that's just another tool I'm going to put in my pocket, you know, because PTSD is not always something that you can just heal from and it goes away.
No.
It can be re-triggered and reoccur for a lifetime or for years at a time.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know it's not easy. And I deal with clients who have PTSD. A lot of people think PTSD come from the military. But it's not more than just that. Like PTSD is the lonely.
Yes. And you can get PTSD from someone else's experience and not just your own personal experience. That's something I learned. I was like, for real?
Yeah.
You know, so-and-so got in a car accident and I'm having PTSD. But it happened.
Right. But I think I low-key have PTSD because I have been in a car accident. Sometimes I'll be in the car, my husband be driving. I have my own brake. I be braking.
Girl, me too. I definitely got PTSD from the car because I've been in a couple car accidents and one on the freeway. And like, it gives me anxiety when I drive. Or my husband, to me, he, like you said, he ain't stopping where I think he's stopping. I'm like, he's like, what are you holding over? I'm like, ooh, slow down. He's like, I'm going 60. I'm like, well, it don't feel like it.
Right.
But you gotta rewire.
It could be cars and the way how people drive all damn crazy. I be having my imaginary brake and just start braking. And he was like, how you gonna brake before me? And I'm the one.
I'm like, because if I was driving, I would have started braking about 5 seconds ago. You're a little too close to that car.
Right.
But no, it's true. And I think, I appreciate that. And I hope, and I know, I don't even have to hope. I know that when whoever watches this episode, y'all are going to get something from this, whether it's one thing or 10 things. I think it's just a blessing the way that you use your experience and the work that you do and combine those and be a pillar in the community, and not just in one community, in all the facets that you show up. I mean, she was just in Ghana, right? At a deaf school. Yes, like learning from students, but also giving them a piece of you. And I think there's nothing but God that has placed you to be exactly who you are, the way that you are, and to be able to do the things that you're doing.
Amen. Since she mentioned about Ghana, I fell in love with Ghana only because, like, just seeing our black people everywhere. Everywhere. Like,
I wanna go.
They were very welcoming. They treated me like a queen. Like, here in America, everybody separate. I really don't think unity here. It's just that. It's like so many discrimination. That's the next topic. Like, discrimination.
Even within our own community.
So in Africa and Ghana, like everybody was like a big family. Everybody was welcoming. Everybody, they didn't care what your nationality is. They want to make sure you're good. There was no homeless person in Ghana. And
talk about a healthy community. I wish that we didn't lose that.
If you don't have to trace your roots yet, but I guarantee
you know what? I haven't personally, but my grandmother has, and so I'm like, okay, well, if she from here, and here, and I got some of that in me myself. I gotta look up exactly what it is. Okay, so one, I just want to thank you for being here, sharing your personal experience, sharing your professional experience, and just being a strong woman of God, black woman, black mother, entrepreneur, all of that. Is, you know, and as I close this up with you, is there anything in particular that you want people to take away from your story and from your experiences?
I would say, honestly, me being professional therapist, I'm happy I can be truly to myself.
Yes.
Why? Because client can feel that.
Yes.
Don't be fake. And to be honest, I don't follow by the fucking book. I don't follow by the book. I just feel people energy and they all what they go through, and I'm very empathy. I'm very understanding. I don't try to fake it.
Yeah.
No. Yes, I'm aware of my bias, blah blah blah. But I know that most clients like when you honest and real and raw. They love that shit. Like
it makes them want to open up more and feel safe because they know they're not just talking to a robot who's like you said, just doing what the book tells them to do.
Because really the book itself is a white person made it.
Yeah.
That's not written for someone diverse.
Let them know.
And the way I my therapeutic approach not gonna be what a white person will approach.
Exactly.
Because they might think I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. If my client is benefiting, they understand. Then we understand pain. But I want to add that as a therapist, they want us to do certain way, but I just true myself, and I always tell people, you know, I have to help myself first before I can help them. Yeah. And make sure I'm here, make sure I'm in well-being before I can give them the tool, the research they need, and not make it about myself. Because when we in one-on-one, I always tell my clients, it's your floor, it's about you. Even if they ask about my life, I only do a brief stuff to close and then return it back. Cause I don't want nothing about me. And this is your session, and I'm here to guide you. Yes. And I'm here to talk about the pros and the cons, but I'm not here to make your decision for you. You have to be willing to make that decision choice for yourself. But I can tell you the pros and the cons, and you have to do your mind or what route you want to go to.
Yeah. So, no, that's so real, and I think too, you know, the Bible says that itself, you know, before you go to take that wood plank out of somebody else's eye, make sure you got it out of yours first. Because what would I look like trying to help you with your mental health, and I can't even take my own advice. Yes, exactly. And I think it doesn't mean that as a therapist you aren't going to have your own issues or struggles, which is why you say you have a therapist yourself. But no, go for it.
And therapy is not a superpower.
Hello.
We don't fix all problems. Yeah. We're not a superpower because we human beings just like you are too.
That part.
Because a lot of people think being therapy, they put the fix.
Yes.
No. And
that you're perfect and you don't have no struggles of your own.
Right.
And it's like, no. We all in this world together here. Right. I'm just, you know, I have the professional and the knowledge to be able to take my own advice, but also to offer advice and tools to others so that we all can live in a world that's conducive to like our best selves and hope and love and compassion and empathy. You know, I think a lot of people who don't deal with mental health or haven't had a struggle yet in their life don't always know how to show compassion and empathy.
Right. And that's like, why you even here?
Exactly. We're all here to love each other. Yeah. And that doesn't mean only when the person is at their best. Like a true friend is there through adversity. That was actually the scripture in church today, y'all. Okay. It was Proverbs 17:17. What did it say? A friend loves at all times, but a brother is there for times of adversity. And so I'm supposed to love you at all times, but I'm also supposed to be there when you're at your low to help you get to wherever you need to go next. And so that is what you do in your everyday work. And I think that's beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being real. Thank you for coming to the couch today. Y'all give it up for my girl Tempest, okay? We are going to end this episode the way that we always do. So take a deep breath. No, close your eyes.
Well, I gotta look at you, Doctor.
Right. See? But some people wouldn't be real enough to say that, right? You would just close your eyes and not know what was happening.
But y'all could close
your eyes at home. Yes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And reflect. Most of the time, things work out fine if you just relax your mind. that was the great words of my brother, Sean E. Washington II. Thank y'all for tuning in to The Real and the Raw. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on YouTube. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Peace out.
And if me,
Oh yeah. I love.
And the water, I love you.
Oh.
The magic.
Send me peace and love.